Hey, Chaz,
Hey,
do you have something you'd like to work on today, or is it more about exploring what's here right now?
more exploring.
Okay, great. We can do this two different ways. One is we can kind of I can guide you into mindfulness right now, and you can kind of begin to sense into your body or any thoughts that are coming up or anything that feels pressing. Or if there's like more just you want to start with talking first, you can just tell me a little bit about what's on your mind. Kind of up to you.
I think the mindfulness would be great to help. Because currently it's not a matter of what is or isn't on my mind. It's just there's a lot. So I
Okay.
think that'd be really helpful so I can decipher through it. Really
Absolutely.
focus, honestly.
Yeah, you're wanting to focus.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I hear that. Okay. Let's just start with taking a breath and kind of coming into your body a little bit more. Yeah, nice big breath. Yeah, just really taking time here to slow down with yourself and be with yourself. Yeah, that landed, huh? What resonated with you about that?
Taking the time to slow down with myself. That
Mm,
it's like you said that and it just like hit so hard. Um,
mm,
I
yeah.
spend so much time with other people for work, for my internship. I'm an intern therapist. And then at work, I'm a case manager. So it's very slowing down to take time for other people. And that slowing down to take time for myself is just like, actually, how am I, do I do that very often? So,
Right. Yeah, you're kind of having to check in like, wait, is this can I do this? Is this even okay almost?
when it comes to me, I'm always rushing. Like, well, let me just hurry up and get this done or hurry up and do this. Hurry up and do something to relax then or have time to relax. And then even after I hurry up and do whatever, I'll still be thinking of so many other things that I can do next. Or, oh, should I reach out to this person? Or should I check this, check that? To where when I think about it, I really don't slow down that much for myself as much as I
Mm,
do for other people because I will literally stop completely and be like, hey, let's actually talk through this. Let's figure out what's going on. How can I support you? And then you saying that made me think, how often do I ask myself these questions?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really hearing how challenging it can be to kind of take some time for yourself. Yeah. So
Mhm.
let's just explore what that might be like just now in this time that we have together. So coming back into your breath and maybe feeling any release that or just softening that comes up here. How important it is for you to show up for other people.
For me,
Yeah.
it's so important because I know what it's like to have to do so much on your own. What it's like to not necessarily have as much support and try to navigate just life or different aspects of life without any clear direction or anyone to help you slow down to see what those resources are. And over the years of doing all these things on my own, it's just fueled and motivated me more to help others that way, to show them that like, hey, this stuff really can be difficult to go through alone and you don't have to. Um, and I just love being that person for people.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a part of their support system. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always think the bigger support system doesn't necessarily mean the easier things will be in life, but the more you can take a step back, the more you can deal with those hiccups or hangups or speed bumps and feel cushion, like having honestly like having a support, or like if you're a trapeze artist and you have that big net, like okay, I might have slipped up, now I have this network of people who can support.
You broke up a little bit, but I heard the metaphor of the trapeze artist and yeah, having this net underneath and how important that is. I mean, that's almost a life or death situation, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm almost imagining you as being part of that woven net. Like there's a little area that has Ches on it.
Yes, a little rainbow spot in there.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I want to invite in too, as we, continue to kind of just slow down and give yourself time here, like really feeling into your own net, not just other people's, but if you are sort of center stage as the acrobat, what does it feel like to have a support system underneath you? And before we kind of go further, yeah, I just want to keep inviting you to kind of really slow down with yourself, trusting your own pacing here, not just answering me because I've posed an idea or a question, but just letting yourself kind of trust your own sense of timing here.
So glad you said that,
Oh,
because that is, I, yeah, you said that. I'm like, that's literally what I do all the time. I'm like, okay, question, answer.
yeah, right. You know how to be on, you know how to be fast. Yeah, yeah. And there's this other part of you that's just really maybe longing to have your own sense of time, like your own space. Like maybe I don't have to answer so fast.
Honestly, yeah. It's like there's a part of me that is, I use a lot of metaphors in general. Like there's a part of me that's constantly on an elliptical, just going, and then there's another part of me that's like in a different room trying to sit down, read a book, and it's just like I'm still here too. Like we can we can calm down. And it's just looking at that part like, okay, later. It's okay.
Looking at the elliptical part or looking at the book part?
The book part.
Oh, yeah. Kind of pushing it to the side a little bit.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah. And being like, well, I know you're there, so but I'm just gonna keep doing this because then we can hurry up and do whatever. So of you
Yeah.
saying that, maybe really think about that, and that support system of being that artist on stage. Sometimes it feels like I can't slow down and that my net is so far away and so far down. I just have to keep pushing so I don't fall.
A lot is coming up with these metaphors and these different parts. Yeah. So bring yourself and your attention kind of into your inner world. Yeah. Nice big breath here. And just being with all of these different parts of you, the energy of urgency, of speed, of supporting others, this part of you that is on this elliptical and is constantly going, and then this other part that's with the book. And yeah, so I'm curious as you sort of turn and be with yourself, I'm curious if those two parts in particular, the elliptical and the book part, it might be interesting to explore the relationship between those two.
Yeah.
Okay. So as we slow down here, also just notice how I'm supporting you in this moment. And I get to be part of your net underneath your acrobat performance.
Okay, lost in thought again, but you're here too. And thank you. But when I think about the relationship for them, the similarities are that they're both still wanting to do things in general, like be preoccupied with reading or just laying down or just being more in the moment. And then the other side of still wanting to be the other one still wanting to be productive and doing something, but in a way that other people can tell I'm doing something. Because, if you're on an elliptical, people can see you're working out. People can see how fast or how hard you're pushing. Whereas when you're reading, it can come off as, oh, this person's just hanging out, just chilling, not really doing much. But still, you are, you're reading for yourself. No one else knows what you're reading or can read the words that you're reading. So having that relationship of still wanting to do things is just a matter of more for myself, regardless of what people might see or might think, and then more for that show, more for like, okay, but if I'm on this elliptical, everyone knows I'm sweating. Everyone can see that I'm working as hard as I can.
Yeah, that part of you knows how to prove yourself. Like, you know how to show people, yeah, how hard you're working. And and also how much you're doing on your own, right? Elliptical is a solo endeavor. Yeah, it's like, look at you go. You're going fast, you're working hard, that part. And there might be something that feels really good about being seen for how productive you are.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, for it being solo, um, a lot of things I do are on my own, and I love being able to show or tell people or just have other people to enjoy my excitement for how hard I've been working. But then the
Mm,
part of me, in the room, in the book where it's calm, it's like that's also productive for myself because I know I do want to calm down. I do want to slow down. And I do want to just be able to take it in and be in the moment with myself. But then additionally being like, oh, well, then I just look like I'm being lazy.
yeah, some judgment coming in here. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm wondering if we can try something out and maybe tell me how this sounds to you. You don't have to do it, but it's just an idea. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in trying out finding a gesture or like a either going inside and feeling like where you feel the energy of the elliptical chest in your body, or if there's like a movement, like it could be like a posture or like doing something with your hands. Um, could be it could be more internal or it could be more external, and then doing the same thing with the book and the book part of chess.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me take a moment to think.
Yeah, really take your time.
Wow. With elliptical chess, I just think of some like hands on your head. Like, I just think of like Professor X from X-Men because when he does this, you're like,
Uh,
he's trying hard. And I think of like, you can tell I'm like working, I'm thinking. And then when it came to book chess, it just makes me laugh because of the movement of honestly just just being like this,
oh, interesting.
of being like more chill, more mellow, more comfy and cozy. Because this is like what I usually do when I am comfy and cozy, but might not have anything to put my arms on. It also feels
Mhm.
like I'm giving myself a little mini hug as well.
Yeah. So let's just stay with this for right now, this pose, and we can go back to the elliptical pose in a minute. Or let's make some room for this here. So making room for yourself to really just be with this pose
Hmm.
of, yeah, feeling how comfy and cozy it is. There's almost, it seems like there's this clarity here of you knowing who you are, is what I'm picking up on. Like you don't have to impress anybody.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That is what it feels like, honestly. And it's so funny. So even smiling more, being in this stance of just being like, this is just comfy for me. And my arms, it feels so nice. I know other people like to have their arms out or whatever. And I'm like, I realize this is like my go-to comfy pose or stance. Yeah. And it's just, yep, this is just how I am. I'm very content, in this moment like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Confident too, huh?
Yeah.
Like like a real confidence, not a showy confidence, but like an inner knowing, it seems like.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Of it
Yeah.
being like, it's all right.
There's a strength to it. Yeah. Take in how good it feels to be in this pose here. This book part of you, this part that knows how to lie down and rest. It might not look like a lot from the outside, but inside, in your inner world, there's so much happening. And it feels really good.
Mm. It really does, especially what you said of it not looking like much on the outside. Because when I really do look like back at myself in the Zoom and I see, I'm like, yeah, it just looks like it doesn't look like much is happening. And I'm just like doing just literally nothing. Um, but internally, the feeling of being more content, of feeling more comforted, all of that is going on the inside. And then, yeah, this stands on the outside. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And so from this place, from this part of you that's you're really embodying right now, what does this version of you have to say to elliptical Ches? Is there anything that she or they would like to say?
that you don't have to try so hard.
Yeah. Right.
It's like the the book version in, yeah, basically in like a glass room looking over at me on the elliptical, just being like, you don't have to go so hard. Like you don't you don't have to
Mm,
do all that.
yeah. And I'm curious what it feels like for you to say that. Like, are there any emotions here or even sensations in your body?
Honestly, I started tearing up because it honestly just keeps going back to the slowing down for myself and how little I really do that. And then saying that to myself and just verbalizing it out into the world, um, is so different from just thinking it, of thinking like, I could slow down, but actually saying like, hey, you really don't have to go so hard. You really don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hearing how important it is to say it out loud, and it kind of makes it real.
Yeah, exactly. Of it, oof, of it being more real. Of
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been working really hard for a really long time, and you've had to do it on your own a lot. And so there's this part of you that is able to give yourself permission to just give yourself what you actually want, at least sometimes. Yeah.
especially with yeah, especially with both of those, reading a book and elliptical being something you to be a solo thing to do, and feeling like if I'm doing things alone, I have to show even more because I don't have people being like, "Oh yeah, they're doing this." Or yeah, I saw that they were doing this and that, and instead of just solo doing things and still wanting to be like, "Hey, I am working hard." You know, you might not see it because you're not here or you're not 100% in the loop or intertwined in things, but let me go sweat people. Like let me show them, let me hop on that elliptical and get moving. Whereas
Yeah.
this other part of being like, this is a hard book to read and I'm doing it. It doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
know that it's difficult. I'm the one sitting here reading it.
Yeah. Yeah. And just the nuance of you being the one who knows instead of other people being the one who know, like you're seeing and knowing yourself as opposed to other trying to prove yourself to other people so that they can see and know you. Just how different that is. So really just see yourself right now, like as much as you can in this pose with the coziness and the confidence and the knowing for yourself of what you need. Just really let yourself be with this right now. Yeah, taking your time again, slowing down with yourself. Yeah. And I'm curious if anything for the elliptical chess part, if the elliptical chess part has anything to say back to what you had said as the book part of you, which is that you don't have to try so hard, right? How is that landing for the elliptical part?
Just one question of, but how do I stop?
Yeah. Yeah. They don't know yet. Yeah. And what comes up for you as you hear that?
I just think it's so funny of being like, it'll take time to fully stop, but you got to start by just slowing down.
Yeah. And who's speaking right now? Who's saying those words? Is that the book chess or does it feel like a bigger part?
A bigger part, kind of like just both at the same time, if that makes any sense, of being like,
Yeah.
well, we have to slow down first.
Yeah.
Even the
Yeah.
book kind of being like, well, gotta slow down. Elliptical one keeps going, but it's like, I don't know how to stop, but I would have to at least start with slowing down.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's invite this part, this elliptical part to just slow down just for the time that we have right now. Just trying it out. What might it be like for them to just really maybe I'm getting this image too of maybe there's a book on the elliptical
Yeah, because you can't go at the speed and try to read the book. You got to slow down. It's not gonna work. I was just uh, imagining that, and then just like frantic with being like, "What does this say?"
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. Right, like the act of reading itself is a slowing down, right? Yeah, just a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not a complete stop, but
It's from a sprint to more of a in between fast walk and jog.
like a power walk.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
to clearly see what's in front of me without going too fast and it all getting blurred and not really getting what you're reading. And
Yeah.
then still going, not to the point of stopping. So it's actually perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, okay. So let's just imagine that you are on the elliptical in a beautiful setting and you have a book with you and it's resting on that little ledge on the screen and it's an amazing book and you're so excited to read it and you don't care who sees you because you're seeing yourself and you're moving at the exact fast walk pace that feels good for you and you're reading at the same time and you're really tuned into your inner world, your imagination.
It's so it's so nice. My that thought it just changed so much. Because at first with the elliptical chess, it was in a very like small white room, kind of like a gym, but with the overhead LED lights and actively also moving my arms. And then it went to being on a treadmill to where I'm not even moving my arms. I'm just casually going with being surrounded by, I know I don't have my background, but in a sunflower field on
Mm,
just a regular treadmill and having that book there and just feeling the light and that warmth and that comfort and not even really sweating because again before it's like hard sweating out of breath but more of still having that sensation of like okay I'm moving I'm putting in some work but not to the point to where I'm like exhausted or huffing and puffing or sweating. It's more of just that external warmth and internal warmth you get when you start to move a little bit more. um, and that was just it was so nice to think about to really feel and almost like I could feel it externally. Like I could feel the warmth of the sun. I could feel the nice little breeze in the field and so much
yeah.
better than being in a very small LED lit overhead light room of exhaustion.
Yeah. 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 And what I'm hearing there is this move from sort of this sterile environment. It was very controlled and very much about being seen to your own sense of aliveness, your own sense of what feels good. Being in a sunflower field, like how gorgeous, you know? So just, yeah, I want to just invite you to just take a few moments before we wrap up and just really go back to that place of almost feeling it on your skin, feeling the pace that feels exactly right for you, and having this book with you, seeing what's in front of you, and the simplicity of it just being a treadmill. Doesn't have to be an elliptical, just walking. and feeling the sun on your shoulders and your head, and just how good it feels to be really fully with these parts of yourself that are now together. And really bookmark this place. Like, see if you can imagine a bookmark, in an actual book. And it has this feeling, these sensations just all over it. And you can pick it up anytime you want and hold it in your hands. And you know what it symbolizes, what it means, and how it feels.
That's so nice. I even just took like this big sigh, more of relief, more than anything, of
Mm,
just relief and release, I guess.
yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and feel those, the relief and the release just throughout your body as it sort of moves through.
I have to say, one thing is throughout this, I've realized I've been able to have less tension in my legs because I tense up my legs a lot. Like by pushing my heels into the ground or like doing something like that. And I realized that my legs are just chilling, just just underneath me, not really doing anything. And I think that's so interesting experience
Wow.
to really think about. I was like, wait a second, my legs actually aren't that tense right now. And they're usually something is tensing up in them.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds big. Sounds like they're not working so hard right now.
Yeah, not actively being like, okay, keep my legs like this so that way posture is like this and I look like, and I've realized that my legs actually got, they're very comfy. They're like, my legs are crossed now. Kind of like how my arms, my legs are underneath
Oh,
my desk.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah. They're kind of
That's different.
mirroring each other.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Interesting. I'll be curious to hear how that, if that continues or how that continues to show up for you. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up?
it just that I really appreciated this, honestly. Um, it's so easy to continuously believe that those two parts of myself can't coexist, that they have to be completely separate, so different, when that's not the case.
Yeah, they get to hang out together. Yeah. And they're part of you. You're the umbrella, right? So, yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your time with me.
Thank you.
My pleasure.